Arsenal Spartan TV. Holla! Arteta in. Alright, hear me out. Okay, so Arteta, his first ever managerial job at Arsenal. So he was a rookie. And the question still remains, should he have been appointed in the first place? I mean, a rookie manager at one of the biggest clubs in the world. Well, it happened, and Arsenal ran with it. So, the first 3 seasons, I personally could see what Arteta was trying to implement into the team. Discipline, a style of play, a sustainable system for the players that he had in his disposal. And despite the first 3 seasons finishing 8th, and 5th, I personally could see a transformation in the way that Arsenal was able to compete against other big teams. Instead of always being the top 6 battering boys, we was known as being weak and naive, getting bullied and outsmarted by other big clubs. After years of seeing Arsenal struggle and get mocked in the media, competing for the league against then title rivals Liverpool and Man City felt like a far-fetched dream. Something that would take decades to be able to win a game against the best in the country. Arteta started building a team in his vision, brick by brick. First with Jesus and Zinchenko, who surprisingly helped to catapult Arsenal to the top of the Premier League and straight into a title race. With a brand new beautiful attacking style of football, Arsenal were blowing teams away, leading the Premier League for 93% of the season, only to fall short at the end and finish in second place. Due to a lack of know-how and world-class players, Arteta had Arsenal in the title race with kids. Arsenal had the youngest team in the league. The following season, the Premier League was more wary of Arsenal and started to low-block Arsenal and double up on Saka, as well as kicking him to bits every game. Arteta again was up against arguably the best Premier League manager, Pep, and although Arsenal had a much more consistent run from the previous season, still fell short to Pep's treble winners. A team that will go down in Premier League history as the last team to do the treble in the Prem was Manchester United in the 1998-1999 season. A team that is still respected and spoken about till this day. Arsenal fans started to lose patience, questioning whether Arteta is the right manager to get us over the line. Hoping to land the Prem next season, Arsenal fans were expecting a convincing transfer window. With still no striker since Aubameyang and 2 title races with the youngest team in the Prem. We brought a few players, but still not a deadly striker we was all hoping for. Instead, we ended up landing Raheem Sterling on transfer deadline day, whom Arteta never had in his plans. Edu, chief of recruitment, would make his final mistake, and that would open a can of worms for him and put the spotlight on a poor to average job in talent ID that he has been doing over the past few seasons for Arsenal Football Club. Arteta, being the honourable man that he is, protected Edu and didn't expose his shortcomings. But Arteta was very aware as he had to use his own talent ID in assisting Edu in his job in recruitment, helping to secure amazing talents such as Rice, Zubamendi and even David Raya, who have excelled as a player since their arrival. Instead of Arteta throwing Edu under the bus, Arteta played the force field for Edu and also the Kroenkes, who also had a lack of ambition, not willing to make the necessary investments to bring in the top talents in order for Arteta and Arsenal to have a realistic chance of winning the Premier League. The Arteta out train started hitting an all-time high, but people who could see through the lines could see that despite Edu's lack in talent ID and despite the Kroenkes' lack of investment, that Arteta still had Arsenal challenging for the league, with now one of the youngest teams in the league with no world-class signings. On to the next season, 24-25, which was last season. With one of the lightest squads in the league and also not many signings, as Edu had now left for Nottingham Forest. We had taken Jason Ato taken over Edu's recruitment job. Jason Ato respectfully was a novice like Arteta and was basically in his first job also. Big Arsenal, you know. Can't believe. Things were looking like they were about to repeat themselves, but we managed to beat the mighty Man City treble winners 5-1 at the Emirates. But now, with Man City out of the way, it was now Liverpool leading the Premier League. They had been waiting in the distance as Arsenal and Man City battled it out for 2 seasons. Liverpool now pounced and never looked back. Unlike Arsenal, Liverpool had world-class players that have done it before, proven winners such as Alexander Trent, Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson, and RIP to the fallen Diogo Jota. And again, Arsenal fell short with a small squad and an unprecedented amount of injuries which decimated Arsenal's squad. But even though Arsenal was down to their bare bones, it gave a great opportunity for 17-year-old Ethan Nwaneri and 18-year-old Miles Skelly to get a taste of first-team football. We finished the league with the best defensive record, even though we had a light squad. We scored the most set pieces as we had to find other ways to score with no out-and-out striker. We also managed to bring in Mafia boss Don Berta, who walked into the Arsenal building with the highest footballing CV at Arsenal Football Club. This one wasn't a rookie, this was a seasoned veteran. A guy that had turned water into wine many times before. With the fresh appointment of Berta, there was a fresh sense of excitement towards the Arsenal future. And with someone with a proven CV of talent ID and catching world-class talents before they are formed, therefore not paying a world-class fee but getting the players on the cheap, the Cronkies were finally ready to open the war chest. With Arsenal finally having an unprecedented summer and bringing in excellent talents like the likes of Madueke, Eze, Gyökeres, Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Hincapié, Mosquera, and a super bargain for the world's most expensive keeper, Kepa, at 5 million. What a buy. Chelsea bought him for 70 million. And he's also played for Spain and Real Madrid. So fast forward to the current season, and Arteta is more ready than ever. He's built an army of players that reflects how he wants to play the game. And he has also been backed by Don Berta Mafia boss. Arteta's army currently sits top of the Premier League with again the best defence and also scoring the most set pieces. We are also third in the UCL after whooping Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone 4-0 in what would be an act of revenge for the last time we were knocked out by them. Now I think this is our season for big things, and I also reckon Arteta will be the guy to take us there. Everyone was saying that they wanted Simeone and Ancelotti to replace Arteta in the Prem. But how would they win a Prem after 38 games when Arteta beat them both by 4+ goals? I think it's safe to say that Arteta's Arsenal owns the city of Madrid. Let me just point out for you a list of the GOAT managers that our rookie manager has defeated. And don't forget Arteta's first ever job in management. So the list of GOAT managers goes on. Pep Guardiola, Diego Simeone, Ancelotti, Jurgen Klopp, Luis Enrique, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, Maurizio Pochettino, and Ten Hag. Born at Arsenal, no other team has had our manager. Arsenal creates legends. First job, you know. Arteta has also scored the most goals of any manager in Arsenal history. He's also given us the best defence in Europe during season 24-25. He's also helped us get Golden Gloves for our goalkeeper David Raya 2 years in a row. And we're also unbeaten and haven't conceded a goal in the Champions League home games. 9 games, conceded 0. Arteta also has the highest win percentage of any Arsenal manager in Arsenal's history. And also, he's taken us to our first semi-finals in the Champions League since 2009. So Arteta in. Arteta's army marches on. So to all my real Arsenal fans, back the team. This is our year. Let's get behind the team. Pause. Yeah? Back the team. Have some chess. Yeah? This is the best Arsenal of the Emirates era. And that is just fact. Yeah? And that's thanks to Mikel Arteta. So Arteta in. Win us a trophy this season, my brother. We're all good. Yeah? So put some respect on my manager's name. Anyway, my gunners, this is Arsenal Spartan TV, and I'm out. In a peace.